In 2019, Nike celebrated the 20th anniversary of this shoe, the Air Max Tailwind IV. Let's take a closer look at this OG colorway. What's going on, guys? You're watching Sneaker News on YouTube, and today we're taking a closer look at one of the big Air Max retros of 2019. That would be the Air Max Tailwind IV. Now, before we get into the video, just a quick favor, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep it going. Air Max Tailwind IVs dropped this spring-summer season. Of course, it all started with that collaboration with Supreme, which we'll show you later. Let's talk a little bit about Tailwind. Now, Tailwinds, Air Maxes at least, don't really get as much love as, the Air Max legacy shoes do, like the 95s and the 97s, but the Tailwind running series is actually very, very important to Nike. It was actually the first shoe to feature Nike Air, whereas the Air Max 1 was the first shoe to feature visible Air. But the Air Max Tailwind series started in 1992, and there are several installations after that, and this will be the fourth model in 1999. So while the Tailwind IV wasn't really known for special edition releases, and there were never any collaborations or anything like that, it's just one of those shoes that Air Max fanatics just really like because it has that full-length Air Max in all these compartments. It has that eyeliner sort of detail in the midsole. Has a crazy this rib design. Definitely a lot of different layers that kind of make this such a funky shoe. Definitely a late 90s shoe. Ever since then, the Tailwind IV was, again, it was more of a collector's item. Air Max fans really liked it. It wasn't like a sneaker-heady kind of shoe. But this Tailwind IV midsole was used in a lot of different sneakers, even in the early 2000s. And this isn't the first time a Tailwind IV came out. It dropped later in the mid-2000s. It was actually available on Nike ID for a very short period of time. But this, of course, is the OG colorway. You have the white leather overlay. You have the white mesh underlay with black leather and suede trims. What people seem to like about the Tailwind IV is that it doesn't have a big swoosh. The branding is very, very minimal. It really focuses on the design. So you have a tiny swoosh right here. You have a tiny swoosh right there. And you have that, Max Air detailing on the heel, little tiny swoosh medallion. And of course you have that Max Air logo on the outsole as well. And these kind of came out during the tuned air era of Air Max, but these aren't tuned air, just letting you know. But yeah, Tailwind IVs, in Australia, they're known as jailwinds because people in jail seem to love these, or if you had money and you're doing nefarious things, you probably had money to buy these because these cost a lot of money back in the day. They're kind of like the Air Max 95s. People saw Air Max 95s as shoes worn by drug dealers. Moving along, the Tailwind IVs, like we mentioned before, dropped several times over the 2000s. There was that short stint on Nike ID. There's some other random shoes, like we said, with the same midsole. There's this very obscure city pack that featured the same outsole, and the upper had maps of the cities. There was New York, Chicago, Detroit, and a few others, but it's one of those obscure Air Maxes that, once in a blue moon eBay purchase kind of thing. But outside of that, the Tailwind IVs were not a super mega hit in terms of sneaker culture. It was just one of those memorable shoes. And the Tailwind Air Max line does not get enough love. It's one of the dopest lines ever. And we hope that Nike brings back the Air Max Tailwind 2 from 96 because those are grail status. The earlier Tailwind models, they don't have huge air bubbles. It didn't have huge full-length air bubbles, so maybe that's why it wasn't as popular. But these right here are definitely one of the more popular ones. And like we said, the reissue started earlier this year with the collaboration with Supreme, which we're going to show you. These are one of two colorways. The reception to these weren't that great. It definitely has this funky woolen print underlay and this pretty interesting sort of color shifting copper lining. Of course, there's Supreme branding here on the lace panel, as well as there's Supreme branding here on the lace lockdown, as well as in the insole, and of course Supreme on the heel. But overall, Supreme Nike collaborations, while many people tend to be excited about them, there hasn't been one that's been an outright hit really. That's because they've done so many great ones in the past, Air Force One, a lot of SBs, even Foamposites, and even Jordans. So, they're kind of getting creative. They're designing the shoes in the way they want to. They're not really trying to appeal to the masses, and that's kind of how Supreme really made its name. But this is a very interesting colorway. The print is not really for everybody, and we can see why. These are still available for retail if you go in the resale market, but again, nothing really can compete with the OGs, and you can't really come across a colorway that you just won't like. A few more in the works. Just check the links below if you want to learn a little bit more about the Tailwind IV release dates. But that's about it. This is a shoe that we're very stoked about. Yeah, it's not going to get all the love that some of the limited collaborations and whatnot. That's pretty much it. This is the Tailwind IV. Looking forward to more colorways coming soon. Hit that subscribe button, and we got more videos coming. Thanks for watching.